Okay. Welcome to our podcast, Tales from the Womb. This is an initiative that I'm taking as a continuation of our beautiful festival for Women's Day, having the same title, Tales from the Womb. It was an online festival, the first edition, international, with guests from 12 different countries. And today I wish to bring you one of our dearest guests for the second day of the festival, Sofia Cerne from Sweden. Welcome, Sofia.
Thank you.
I'm going to introduce her a little bit. So she speaks of herself as being a spiritual teacher, a ritualist, and founder of Sofia's Academy, a sacred space devoted to feminine wisdom, embodied leadership, and soul remembrance. And her work is rooted in the belief that true leadership is not learned through strategy alone, but awakened through the body, the womb, and the feminine spiritual lineages carried within women. Drawing on decades of experience in embodiment practices, tantra, archetypal work, and ceremonial spaces, Sophia guides women back to their inner authority through ritual, myth, and lived spiritual practice. At the heart of the teachings she presents is the reclamation of the inner leader and the inner dominatrix, understood as sacred archetypes of feminine sovereignty, boundary, and inner command. Sophia's work waves the mystical and the practical, honoring the feminine as cyclical, intuitive, and deeply wise, while restoring the inner structures needed to hold power without self betrayal. Through Sophia's Academy, she initiates women into a path of embodied leadership where spirituality is not an escape from life, but a way of fully inhabiting it. During 2026, she will publish the book She Who Leads. Her mission is to support women in remembering who they are, rooted in the body, guided by spirit, and anchored in inner authority. More details will be given in the description of these episodes. But now let's welcome Sophia. Again, I'm very happy that you agreed for this interview. I'm
Thank
curious.
you. I'm honored of that description.
Yes,
Thank you
it's
so
a beautiful
much.
description.
Yeah, that's a lot of beautiful words and beautiful sayings.
Yes. But I'm curious, beyond this description of your work, of who you are as a facilitator and holding space for women for these transformative processes and experiences to occur, who are you as a
Oh
woman?
yeah. Yeah, who am I? Well, I I would say I'm a woman on a mission. Uh, and I have been so my whole life. Uh, I've been started as being that little girl, wanted to be that good girl that wanted to behave properly. I was this my all my school years. I was this well, good grades. Was thinking of doing a career, and I tried that path for a long way actually, even though I've always as been working as an entrepreneur and self-employed. I always tried to fit in fit in the system, what I call the so-called masculine system of doing things in their way. You wanted to act in a certain way, behave at meetings and stuff like that, and I realized quite early that if I fit in, if I put on the suit, I get acceptance from the other in a meeting or so. I put on my suit for some years in my early stages of being an adult woman, and in the way I describe that, it's that you put on a masculine shield. You put on that suit as a shield, as a protection from the outside world. Uh, so I really didn't. went into being a woman until I actually found tantra.
Mm, interesting.
Um, well, of course, biologically, I was a woman. I was a woman. I had relationships. I was in a relationship. We tried to fit into the system. We tried to have a baby. I didn't have a baby. I don't have biological children. And that has been an issue. Well, not anymore, but when I was between my 30s and 35 and went to this leadership trainings, and I remember especially one for women leaders, they identified themselves as mothers so much. As a woman, that's one of the main archetypes where you can mirror yourself in. And well, I could mirror myself in my own mother, my grandmother's, but I couldn't mirror myself in my own way of being a mother.
Mm,
And that was an issue for me at the beginning. So you asked the question, who am I as a woman? Well, I have a lot of motherhood inside me. I have that archetype very present and have my whole life since I have four younger sisters. So it's like I was like a mini mom for them, and that's I also guess is why I was quite fed up of being in this energy that I had never had this longing to go with the stroller or to take care of screaming kids and changing diapers. I have done that when I was younger.
I can relate. I had two younger brothers. I didn't
You
change that.
have younger brothers,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and also that maybe I was. So that's the question: who am I as a woman? So actually, the tantric path for me that started in 2007, so it's been quite a while now. That actually in that work, I found a way into my own sexuality and my own body, because we women we are very much more into our bodies and not so much in our minds. So I went from my mind deep down into my core, my heart, and my womb. That's the journey. And today, as a woman, I am actually at the moment not in a relationship. I have had several long relationships in my life. And I live in Småland in the south part of Sweden in a quite big house, which I also use as my own retreat place. Um, so that's kind of also a new role for me to be this independent woman that takes care of everything herself. I am used to have a handyman by my side.
Nice. Well, life
Uh,
is filled of
uh,
surprises. You never know. Maybe you get another handyman soon.
yeah, well, if I need one, I'll bring them in, I think. But it's also for me like this is a phase now where I integrate everything into myself and have a lot of friends that are willing to help and I I think I am made for being in a monogamous relationship, and I know this handyman is waiting outside there. But at the moment, I take care of myself.
Yes. And speaking about taking care of ourselves, I'm very curious to know as you participated as a guest to our festival, and your presentation was pre recorded, so you were not physically with us, but you were in spirit and energy in the container. I'm curious to know what is your opinion about the usefulness and the purpose of this kind of initiatives like festivals or summits for women's. Of course, we don't need a special occasion to organize them, but on special occasion they get more vibrant and more attuned to the overall energies around.
Well, I will start in a more broader perspective because I think we are in a phase in universe in the time we are living in that we need to focus more on the feminine way of leading, the more circular way of leading. And so I think we are in that kind of shift. You don't have to be a believer or be very expert of either astrology or whatever, but we you can just watch the news at the moment in 2006 springtime, that what's going on in our world is the destruction of the masculine, I would say. And maybe that's a harsh word. So this kind of circles, whether if there are in real life, physical or online, I think it's very important to gather both men and women. But this festival was around the International Women's Day, so I think it's a good time to get this energy up and running, and gather women and facilitators, and show the world that we we see the world as you do, but we also have this perspective. I don't want to be this say that you are wrong if you do it the masculine way. I would like to say this is an alternative. So that's that's what I can say. I think it's very important, and I think we have it more natural, women, to gather in circles. We are used to process and discuss and talk to our sisters, both the biological sisters and our, maybe if we have sisters as colleagues, or we are also used to listen to the elders, or so that's important to gather.
Yeah, there is
I have a saying in Swedish in my work: I cirkel efter cirkel läker vi världen. In circle by circle we heal the world. And a circle is as small as you and me sitting here in this web coasting, like this meeting now. That's a circle. Okay, we're just two. So that's how it works, the circle by circle.
Yes. In one of my former teachers in womb shamanism, she used to say, and it's something I keep repeating every time, we heal the world one womb at a time. And it's like also with the circle, we can also heal the world one circle at a time, because it's a circle of wombs.
Yeah.
And you are also running circles and workshops for women.
Yes.
And your experience, because you are already experienced, and you bring also more wisdom to the circle and more presence. What you consider to be the main learning from all these circles that you had to?
Oh, yes. My biggest learning over the years is that you don't have to, how would I describe it? You just need to create a safe space. You just need to open up for things to happen. And if you're really into working with circles, you also believe in the dynamic in the circle. You have to believe in the power of that. All the people that are gathered at the moment are there, and they will help you solve whatever problems comes up. And with working with both groups, with both women and men, I think that's one of my skills that I bring to the room. I present a safe container. It's not so much about the facts or the theory or who did that and how to do that. It's more about actually just be present in the moment. So if that's something I like in my teachings in the future, is that I want to guide women into power and trust to be themselves, to be more radiant, to dare to step into the circle.
Beautiful. Yes.
It's like, and also the world we are living in now, all information is there. You just need to write down the correct prompt in your AI chatbot, and you have all the answers if you want facts.
Yes.
But how to bring that fact into your reality, that's the skill you need to develop.
Exactly. And you speak about skills and being present and creating this safe space, but have you had moments when you felt challenged?
Oh my
Challenged
God.
by,
Every
by
day is
someone
a
or a group?
challenge. If the
Any,
sun isn't shining, I have a challenge.
but it's any specific experience that comes to you that you would like to share?
A
Something that really
specific
marked you?
experience. Well, I have crashed many times in my life.
Mm,
And I think that's what those experiences brings to me, is that the ability to raise up again when you fall. I have so many stories from my life because I have that kind of personality, and I have that kind of, I just go there and I just do it, and then oh my God, we failed. Okay, sorry, we need to redo this. And I have to do that with myself. I'm not so much into this fixed structure. I have had many relationships. I have tried things. I did a lot of workshops, and I tried different concepts. And I have lived in houses. I have lived on a houseboat. I have lived in apartments. I moved to small London, this house, and bought another house. And I'm a doer. And by that, if you are a doer, you also fail.
exactly.
It's not like the straight line upwards. It's this roller coaster. It's more, and it's a spiral like this. It's something evolves out of. And the thing with that, like the mistakes I have done, well, at the moment, my accountant, she failed. She quit.
Oh my God.
Um,
That can
and
be.
I swapped to this accountant because I felt I wanted to support uh, a new entrepreneur, and she decided she didn't want to run a business. I
Okay.
trusted her. Um, so I'm actually in like this tricky business situation, but for me it feels like a failure. Why did I was so kind in October? It's like I blame myself for that. Of course, I also have like a lot of doubts, and I um, like I tell myself you're not good enough, and why did you do that? And so it's that's just a small failure, but I've had done a lot of big ones too.
Okay. It's good that you have a positive
Well, it's
mindset
like
so you can
I
overcome them.
otherwise I would, I'm not finished here in this life. I know I have a lot of life left, so I need to stay positive. It's like that's I cry, and I since I work so much with embodiment, if I'm sad, I cry. If I'm angry, I scream. Um, if I'm happy, I laugh.
Exactly.
And I try to put myself in those situations where that is allowed. I was joking with my siblings, like my sister's kids, Saturday night, and like just making jokes, and was like laughing about situations. And I think that's very important to put yourself in those situations that aren't so important in life for yourself.
Yeah, we have to taste everything from life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Not only the happy and sweet moments, but also bitterness sometimes.
Yeah, and you have to have them like at the same time.
Yes.
You can
Yes.
you can be feel like you are crashed, and you just want to like put a blanket over your head and cry yourself out, but still laugh.
Exactly.
That's very important.
Yeah. I know you are writing a book. Would you like
Yeah.
to speak about this book? What is the story behind it? What motivated you to do this?
Yeah, the thing with me is that I like to write books, and I've been writing books before, like more self-educating books, like do this and follow these steps and this will happen. From my tantric path, I wrote a book about tantric kink, and I also wrote a book about tantric massage. So this time since I have been in a transformation in my life, during the summer I was sitting and writing rewriting a lot of notes from 15 years of notebooks. I was checking them through what the hell has happened in my life. And then I tried to see what can I do about this, because I want to share my teachings with the world. And the book is called She Who Leads. And it's written as an inspirational book to the woman that feels that, is this it? Is there more to get out of life? And also, it's about this more feminine way of leadership. Because this straight line from like a goal setting and then you go into do this and this and this, we do it differently. So I hope the book will be not a guidebook, but more inspirational. That my teachings are based on that. If you have like worked through all your archetypes, and if you can own your archetypes from the virgin to the dominatrix, then this line, the archetypes, is a way that Carl Jung was describing our inner life, that you have your inner magician, you have your inner warrior, you have your inner king, and you have your inner lover. And in this work, you can use those and you can put those feminine labels on them instead and find your transition actually through life. You're a virgin when you're a newborn baby, and some people you meet, they stay in this virgin energy. They are like, don't take so much responsibility, and then maybe a few years later in your life they behave like this schoolgirl. And you can see, you can go to your own time in school, especially as a woman when you are between 10 and 14. You have those different types at your in your classroom. Actually, you have this good girl that's just doing all the homework, you have the rebel, you have the sporty girl, and you have the bimbo. And the bimbo, like she's just, that's just the fashion, and she just wants to be beautiful. And so you have those different kind of archetypes. And I used to say, if there are some of the archetypes that you really hate, if something is triggering you, and the older archetypes, older, like in, that's the mother, that's a big archetype. You also have the the businesswoman, she's an archetype, for example. And you have the wise woman, and you have the magician, and we call her a witch on the feminine side. And you also have the nun, and you have the great goddess, and the one that I've been working a lot with, the dominatrix. So it's like, if some of them are like, you get some, no, I don't like this, that's not for me, I don't have that in me, I would say go there, because that's where the gold is. But when you come to a phase in your life when you like, you can embody all of them, and you're the one that is choosing. In this meeting, I choose to be in this energy. Or tomorrow I'm going to teach a class. Of course, I won't need to be in my teacher role. And you're in charge of that.
Mm.
It doesn't just happen. Sorry, I can talk a lot about this. This is actually my passion. So
Or that
that's actually, I'm
listen
trying to explain why this is so important in the book.
in the book. When do you think you are going to publish it?
I have got some feedback from a very bright person, actually, that was read it over the weekend. And I need to do some changes. That was tough feedback. So I had the idea it would be April, end of April, beginning of May, but I think I need to
Soon.
soon. That's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
I don't have a timetable. I'm not in my masculine at the moment with the book writing.
Yeah, I wish you good luck, and I'm curious to see it out.
Yeah.
I hope many women and maybe even men will be curious to hear.
Yeah, I will. The first edition will be in Swedish, but I think I will do something in English also.
Very nice. And speaking about dominatrix, this
Yeah.
was actually the topic of your lecture at the festival. You brought the dominatrix, and you also proposed some short exercises, if I remember well, because I
Yeah.
wasn't. Would you like to summarize a little bit for those who were not present
Yeah.
at the festival, just to make them curious about what
Yeah.
exercises?
At the festival, I gave a lecture about finding your inner dominatrix. It might be a little bit provocative because when you use the word dominatrix, you get this image. What is what it is? And I like to switch the picture of what a dominatrix is because it's your inner leader. That's your inner dominatrix. That I'm trying to explain that in that lecture. And why do you have access? Why do you need access to your inner dominatrix? Yeah, well, as I said about the archetypes, when you embody all of them, then you have access to your inner dominatrix because she's the one. She uh, she is the leader, and you need to be the leader of yourself. It has nothing to do with like structures in your company or at your workplace or in your family, or it's all about finding that inner energy that you have access to when you need to stand on your legs and be present in your life. Um, and the training you need to do to get there. For me, I also see it in many other that are working with leadership and training. A lot of training comes from the mind. You have this project management manual or whatever. You do it in this kind of structures. You follow a protocol. We do it this way, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. And that's not for us women. And that's why we need to reinvent ourselves, because in the history, when we honor the goddess, not the god, the goddess, that's if you go back many, many thousands of years, we actually, we, that was our religion at the moment. We need to have access to that strong feminine energy that is in our land, in our forests, in our seas, in our mountains. And so we need to be a part of nature and use that energy into our system. That's one part of working more in a holistic way with your inner leadership. Um, so about the dominatrix energy, it's not that you should become a Kali just going there and cutting heads, but you have to be able to do that if it's necessary. But you're the one that is in charge of making the choice. When should you take out that inner dominatrix inside you? And to be able to do it from a pure place, not as a game, not as a play, not as a costume. I said earlier when I was younger, I put on this masculine shield. I put on that costume. You actually need to clean your whole system. You need to be aware of who you are and why you are doing things. So that's the way I see it. It's self-leadership, to dare to step into your inner dominatrix.
And do you think, is there any, yeah, I know that you spoke about the fact that the feminine energy is different and doesn't need all this planning, to achieve something, even if it's about self-leadership. But is there anything like a trigger or entry point into this path? Because many women have, even in all these societies that are still very much relying on patriarchal rules of living, they are very much submitted and thinking that they don't have any power. How would you approach this for those women who are completely submissive? And I'm not speaking about the king stuff or
No,
being
no, 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 no. I use
like
the word
as a
submissive.
mentality and concept
Yeah,
for them. Probably this other side of the reality does not even exist because they grew up and they lived all their life
yeah.
like that. And if you would have to approach this type of women or these women living in this kind of societies, what will be the anchoring for this?
The entering point is that step by step, as all self-development, you can't like you can't jump from your highest building in you
In
need
the
to like take it stair by stair. You don't jump up there. If it's an up, I think it's more flat. I see its development as more circular and flat. It's not like stairs you climb because you always fall down. So it's always um well, this isn't a Swedish audience, but in Sweden, we at Gröna Lund, there's a big fair in Tivoli in Stockholm. When you enter this building, it's stairs that moves like this. So when you go in, then you have to jump and follow the steps up like that. If you haven't experienced it, it's hard for me to explain verbally. But that's how personal development works. You take one step forward, two steps backwards, two step forward, one step backwards, and you move like this, back and forth, back and forth. And the more you stretch, like the rubber band, and you drop it, it smacks. And you go back and you need to rest for half a year because you almost burned out in all that development you were into. So for this women, that if you are a woman and you feel like, oh my God, that's not for me, one thing you need to do is take, what do you really want to do in your life? What's your favorite things? You need to start to learn to like do pleasurable things for yourself. That's one step. To learn the difference between pleasure and horniness. That's not the same thing. You can enjoy an ice cream that's nothing sexual about it. But if you don't know if you want chocolate or vanilla, then you have a problem. And that's where you need to start. Do I want tea or coffee? You learn to make a difference between yes and no in yourself, in your system.
Yeah.
That's one step. And it's not that you need to step out of the situation because you need to learn how to, this is the situation I'm in at the moment. You don't need to run to Bali, or you don't need another career. You can start these changes in your daily life today. So do you want vanilla or coffee? Make a choice and do it from your inner core. Really feel into, don't just go for vanilla because the kids like it. That's one step into it.
Yeah. And it's a good start. I think so. It's important to connect with that inner core because many women still live in disconnection. And I think we are approaching slowly the end of the interview. But before this, I would want to know if you have any invitation or any advice for women
Yeah.
who are curious about this kind of work.
Well, I think you come to me Come to me. Mama will save your life. No, I'm not. I'm curious. It's not. I have that attitude because also in this kind of webinars we should sell and go to my website and it's
I will put
Sophia
all
Magic.
contacts in the
Yeah, thank
description,
you.
so
You
not a
will.
problem.
It's like I run retreats and at the moment I'm doing like 1 day retreats at my place here in Rumskulla. I also have an online training in Swedish about she who leads and to if you want to go into this tantric way of leadership. It starts the 13th of April and I invite you to it, and if there are a lot of international participants we have to do it in English. uh, that's the way we can do it. If it's I have one Swedish participant so at the moment, so we will sort it out at the place. Well, then one advice I would say, just inhale.
Hmm.
Take a deep inhalation
Hmm.
and relax on the exhalation.
Hmm.
That solves so many problems. And if you do that 3 times, then you get a little bit more connection with yourself and your body.
Yes, knowing how
And
to
we forget that. We are just running to our next task, the next thing on the to-do list. And that saddens me. It's like, if we can't stop the world from spinning around its axis, and we can't stop our monthly cycle if we are still menstruating, and that's also a way of being a woman. But we can just sit down or lay down. We can go out for a walk, enjoy nature, and inhale. So.
And it's nice now that spring is finally coming also here in Norway, that we inhale the sun rays, also
Yeah.
the energy of the sun to bring us more happiness and vitality. We need this after a long winter.
Yeah. That's also how we live in this circle. In winter, we just close
Winter,
down and go downwards, and now in spring
we blossom.
we blossom.
Thank you so much.
So
Yeah.
thank you for this and letting me just talk and talk and talk.
No, but I like to listen, and I said that you have so many interesting things to say, and actually a very interesting approach that not everyone dares to speak about in a dominatrix in our society. So I believe it's very important that we speak also about this more, like, I don't know if they are taboo, but not so easy to digest topics, to say like that. Not for everyone.
Yeah. And it's also, for me, it's like, that's one of my missions, actually, since I
Yes,
started this journey many years ago. And I want to take away all the taboos around it, because I am so certain that it is a skill that will change the leadership and how we run the world.
exactly.
If
So
we
don't stop.
women, if we women dare to take charge of our own lives,
Yes.
all crazy relationships, all dysfunction in love relationships and work relationships will end.
Hopefully, one day.
Well, it will happen. I'm certain.
Don't stop what you're doing. I think your
Thank you.
contribution to the world is really important in the times we live in.
Yeah.
And I thank you again for being our guest also for this series of interviews. And I wish
Yeah.
you good luck on your path. And we
Well,
do
thank
also.
you for all this work you have put into this, and happy to
And
talk to you.
for those who listen to us and see this interview, I also invite you to subscribe to my channel Irini Hara for future contents. There will be more interviews with our guests from the festival, and in the future other guests too. So thank you for watching, and see you next. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you.